people who have registered to join this this group, even though they don't all turn up. As we know, each week we have 79 people registered on our list. So we're trying to encourage more people to turn up, as you guys have done. Thank you for that, for this session to be here in person. But people, as I say, will receive the recording. And those of you who have been participating in these sessions are invited to join the UpCoach community online platform group for this particular group for female founders. So I am going to pass across to Pinky shortly, the guest speaker. I will let Pinky introduce herself, but I would just say something about Pinky as somebody that I have met during networking, and we all know the power of networking. And Pinky and I have had some great conversations since. We've both had similar backgrounds. We've been involved in corporate consulting for many years with a different sort of area of focus. So Pinky knows what it's like to work in a large-scale corporate environment and then also to be an entrepreneur. So if you would, you know that when Pinky's speaking to you, that she's speaking from both perspectives, from being an employee in a corporate environment to speaking as an entrepreneur. This topic, in terms of how you present yourself, your presence, your brand, is a really important one for all of us. It's particularly important for female founders and entrepreneurs. Quite often we are our business, and everything about us portrays who we are in our business. And next week we are continuing the theme of branding, but from an entirely different perspective, with a guest speaker, Emma, who comes from a PR and marketing background. So I'm going to shut up now, and I'm going to pass over to Pinky, and we will aim to finish at 1:45 the hour. So we have a 45-minute session today. If you've got questions, comments at all, please continue to put them in the chat, and we will keep an eye on that, myself and Ikutu. So over to you, Pinky. And
thanks, Elaine. Hi, everyone. Good to see you all today. Welcome to this session on the power of style to build confidence. Before I begin and introduce myself a little bit, I just want to ask everybody, when you look at yourself, when you go and present yourself, do you think about using clothing as your secret weapon? Is this something that crosses your mind? Is this something that you want to present to the world? So today we will delve into a little bit more around how we build our brand and bring ourselves in front of people with confidence through the power of style. So a little bit about myself. I'm a mother of a 15-year-old boy, and let's not even go anything beyond that, because that's the stressful part of my role. I've been working, as Elaine said, in a professional services firm for about 15 years, focused mainly on working with private businesses and female entrepreneurs. I have had a career in the professional services on finance, account management, and now working on kind of the strategy sort of operations. At the same time, I started my business as an entrepreneur on styling, personal styling and image consulting a year or two back. And this comes from a personal passion of mine to really help improve the style and image of people over many years. As a young child, I was always interested in sort of dressing up, then as growing up during university and so on and so forth, always helping friends and family. And through doing that, people came to me and saying, oh, this is really good. You really helped me in this aspect and that aspect. And so why don't you start something? So this is how I kind of went into this, this profession. Overall, I'm a very vibrant person. I embrace color and individuality. I do try, and I am a little bit expressive, so I do use a lot of hands and movement during my presentation. I grew up in Thailand, lived in different parts of Southeast Asia, India, Singapore. I have friends and family there as well. So I'm really inspired by the various cultures, and I study the design and style of those women. And I love to travel. So when I go there, I do pick up unique pieces. I do think about my clients and how this would help connect to their story. So this is a little bit about myself. This is quite a relaxed presentation environment. So feel free to stop me if you have any questions. Feel free to come off mute at any time. Okay, so let's begin. Now, sorry, is somebody saying something? No, maybe that was not the mute.
Yeah,
So,
could I just ask people to mute while Pinky runs through her presentation? And as she said, if you've got any questions, then do come off mute to ask the question or put it in the chat. Sorry, Pinky.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Elaine. So a powerful presentation can make a big difference. This translates not only in the way we dress up, but also through our body language, our delivery. Now, you all know that dressing well is a reflection of your personality, your values, how authentically you come to the world and step out of the door. Most of us, if you think about it, most of us wear 20% of our wardrobe. Why? Because we are faced with so many choices, we gravitate towards the clothes that make us more comfortable and that make us feel good. Now, our personal image encompasses not only our physical appearance, but also our personality, values, beliefs. It's a combination of how we present ourselves to the world and how we interact with them. So it's crucial. It's a crucial part that plays in captivating our audience and leaving a lasting impression. So when I talk to my clients, I say you have to be strategic about your personal styling. Yes, we have different times during our week where we have to dress up in certain way, where we are meeting certain different groups of people. But let's be strategic about what we need to do when we go out for a particular reason. So let's begin with understanding our audience. Now, who are we presenting to? Is it a room full of investors? Is there a potential client base that you're talking to? Is it peers? And is it a networking event? This really helps us to understand, once we know what the event is like, what the audience will be, it allows us to convey what we want to through our outfit. Of course, we have to think about whether it's virtual and physical setting as well. Post-COVID, everybody has been joining a lot of things virtually, and that means when you're seeing when somebody's seeing you, when you're presenting to them, they are only seeing the first top half of your body. So sometimes we don't think about how we are presenting ourselves virtually. So that's also a very important aspect of how you show up, whether you've understood the setting, you've understood how things are connected. And it is important to see the full package. It's not just clothes, stand tall, look at your posture, does your body language speak the way you've dressed up? Does it say authority? Does it empower people? And don't forget the small things like, your hair, your nails, a little perfume, maybe shoes. We need to always be ready to present ourselves in the way that will leave a lasting impression, and for the right reasons. You don't want to be somebody who thinks, oh, I remember this person, she had the most shabby shoes. No, we don't want to do that. So we have to be thinking about our audience. Now, coming to the power of first impressions. I know in reality, we are told we should not be judging somebody by its cover. However, if somebody is judging you, you want to define that. You want to make that first impression count. And research has shown that people look within 4 to 6 seconds, they already look at you and form their first impression and create something in their brain to say, oh, maybe this person I want to listen to. Maybe this person I want to hear more about. Maybe I can feel some connection with it, with that person. So be prepared to be judged, or let's define. I prefer to call it, let's define what people are thinking about ourselves, of me. And along with this, of course, it comes to accepting our body, loving ourselves. I mean, I have, like many of you, I have been through different phases of life, children, menopause, so on and so forth. So there are changes in our body that happens. And when we think about how our body has changed, how we want to project ourselves, how we want to be seen, we have to first be accepting ourselves and not creating a judgment on ourselves, thinking, oh, I should be like this, or I need to be like this. Yes, it's good to have aims, it's good to have goals around, how you want to be, but at the same time, you have to accept this is who I am. And when you feel confident and well dressed, it shows. People can see it through the way you're standing, the way you're talking. It's all visible. And a well chosen outfit can really convey that you have paid that few minutes of attention to the detail, and it's in a way commitment to the success, that you're executing an air of competence and inspiring trust in your audience. So let's see what should we do then. So now, building a presentation wardrobe doesn't necessarily mean like a complete overhaul of your wardrobe. As entrepreneurs, I know we do not have the bandwidth to think and make decisions on a daily basis. So I recommend having 5 looks that are ready for you to work on. These could be key pieces that are versatile and timeless, like tailored blazers, well-fitted pants, skirts, blouses, smart dresses, something that you don't have to think about twice before you kind of go in. You know that these 5 outfits are always there, will be working for me, no matter what the situation is. Again, depends on the quality of the fabric that drapes well. Think about choosing fabric with better quality rather than quantity. And in this environment, we have to be sustainable. We have to think about where fast fashion, where clothing is going, what is happening. So let's be mindful about that. And people notice when you put effort to present yourself. So I want to highlight and emphasize here that it is important that your wardrobe combination, whatever you choose those 5 outfits to be or whatever it should be, that makes you feel like a go-getter. It makes you feel unstoppable, that I'm ready to face the world. I'm ready to go there. Now let's talk about the psychology of color. Did you know that color can have a significant impact on your audience perception? Understanding the psychology of color can help you choose an outfit that amplifies your message. There's research that shows again that we see color before we see cut and shape. From a distance, if you can remember multiple settings that you may have been to, where you've gone there and you kind of just remember somebody on a bright pink or a bright yellow outfit. So the color really has different meanings, and it has the power to evoke emotions, shape perceptions, and is a form of communication. So let's incorporate that, different colors intentionally in our wardrobe. I've shared on the right hand a color wheel, which kind of shows the different feelings or the different emotions that those colors represent. You can also do a color analysis to kind of understand what suits you, your skin tone, hair, eyes, depending on that. There are many people who do color analysis on that. And for example, like if, let's talk about some of the people that you may have seen. When somebody is wearing a red, it's kind of like the color of power. So it holds people attention for longer. Blue is a classic choice for presentations, for trust and professionalism. And sometimes when you want to make a bold statement, how about a strong color, a vibrant color? Of course, you have to choose the color that complements your personal style and resonates with you. There's also examples where sometimes people come in and because here, our audience, we all have a brand, we all have either a product you're selling or a service you're selling, and you probably have a color palette within that as well. Sometimes it's important, again, it's more applicable probably for the product-based businesses where you would like to make sure there is a bit of a match between how you're presenting, what you're coming up with, and what the colors kind of saying to you. Last week, I was in a pitching competition. I was attending a pitching competition where there were about 8 female entrepreneurs who came to pitch. And you won't believe it, 5 of them were wearing black, because black is assumed to be the formal attire, formal color, no hassle, it's easy to pick up. But the light in the room kind of reflected that color, and so it did not create an immediate impression. So until this book, I'm not saying, of course, content is important. All of that is important. At the end of the day, your product, your content, your selling points have to be important. But that first impression also makes a difference. And don't forget the power of smile. There have been many articles I've been reading recently where people are saying, oh, it's better not to smile than to have fake smile and, this and that. But I genuinely feel that if you smile and you smile from your heart, you will feel good and the person in front of you will be able to connect. So let's not forget the power of smile. And now let's talk about accessories. Now, accessories can elevate your presentation and make them from ordinary to extraordinary. Less is often more. That's also very important. So the right accessories you have and how much of it you put in is very important. Some accessories also have a story to tell and can be a great conversational starter. So, depending on what kind of an event you go to, say, for example, I have this lovely piece of brooch. It's like a peacock, which my grandma had given me. And many times when I go to, an event, or when I don't know somebody and I'm going to go to a networking event or going for a presentation, I kind of wear like a solid color or like a solid blazer and just put that peacock brooch on my blazer. And sometimes that's a conversation starter. I might not know many people in the room. I might not know anybody in the room, but somebody comes to you and, oh, this is a lovely brooch, or what is this? And then I tell a story about, how my grandma gave it to me, how I've fallen in love with that era of the 1950s and 60s. And suddenly there is a conversation you can have. And then you can connect to that. There can be stories. This is like a personal story from something I own. Sometimes it can be unique pieces that you have, like, a quirky design blazer or a print, which is not usual. So somebody will kind of say, oh, that's a lovely print, or that's an interesting, shoe color combination or whatever it is. And that helps you open up, and it kind of gives you that confidence to explore. So don't underestimate the power of the accessories. Now, this is a very, in my head, it's a very important aspect for us as female. Women do not necessarily celebrate their achievements and accomplishments. We achieve one thing, we go on to the next, we go on to the next, we go on to the next. We do not stop and think, this is something that was hard. I had aimed to do this, and now I want to celebrate that. So the way I personally feel what we could do is maybe celebrate your journey through investing in a signature piece. So, when say you have been looking for, I don't know, I'm just going to make up, but like, a handbag, and you really wanted to buy this. So when you reached a certain target in your business, when you have done something, and say you purchase that now. So every time you wear that, every time you take it out, it reminds you of that achievement, and it gives you that positive vibe. It gives you that positive dopamine, which kicks you off. So you feel confident the next time you go, oh, I have achieved that, so I can achieve this. So it's all about what we can do to face the world, and how we can bring that confidence within ourselves. Again, another thing is upcycling. Nowadays, again, everybody there are lots of tailors, there are lots of companies who kind of bring those sentimental pieces together, or maybe it could be, some piece of clothing from your grandma, from your mom, from your friend, from your child, which really gives you that feeling of, yes, somebody's with me, I've got this, and I'm going to do this. So there are ways you can celebrate that. You can add those accomplishments in your wardrobe. Now, I hope you're finding this useful. I have shared my Instagram and a few resources that would be useful if you would like to explore this more. You can also do a half an hour call with me, and we can explore this together in terms of what questions you have. But otherwise, I'm happy to answer any questions. If you want to touch on anything in particular, happy to do so. Thank you. Elaine, over to you.
Yes, thank you very much. If we can just stop you've stopped the sharing. That's great. Thanks, Pinky. So yeah, I mean, do ask any questions that you have. Just unmute yourself and ask Pinky a question, or post it in the chat. One question I had, Pinky, I was very I think one of your early slides, you talk about creating a signature image for yourself. And I mean, how do you find what your signature image is? How would you suggest somebody starts to explore that for themselves?
So some of this is, like you said, exploratory. So, some people have an affinity to certain accessories, or certain, like, I'm, for example, I'm not a trouser person at all. I am either, a skirt or a dress. So once you you have to define certain things that you've always find comfort in, you like to do. And then, like, I work a lot with my clients on, after multiple discussions, and kind of trying to understand their lifestyle, what suits their lifestyle, what is it, the setting that they need to, be going to. Depending on that, sometimes it's like, it could be like so for example, for me, as you would see today as well, I do love glasses, and I'm very invested in, I have been wearing glasses since I was, I don't know, age 6 or 7. So over a period of time, I have felt that this is something that I'm really passionate about. I buy a lot, so why not invest in something? Maybe that is my signature style. You know, I will invest a bit more in glasses. I will invest. I feel good about wearing different types of glasses or different colors, and including coloring glasses. So for everybody, it can be very different, and it is a bit of an exploration. But once you find that, then it's kind of easy, and you get through that.
Right. Got a couple of questions coming in now, Pinky. So Ingrid said, like your take on exploring colours more.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ingrid mentions about sort of silent rule in corporate world is block colours. And I was thinking when you were talking earlier, if you go into a room or something with lawyers, they're all wearing black. They're all wearing black. I remember once, you know, at a presentation and different speakers there, and it was a law firm. And I think you could easily see who weren't the lawyers in the room because they're the only ones not wearing black.
And actually, in just before COVID, there was a lot more of following this, you know, kind of a bit of a rule and this and that. But now, if I look back and if I see people are a lot more exploratory, like even in professional services, for example, people would never wear trainers and come into work. They would always be wearing high heels, you know, a very block color, like Ingrid said. But now, after post-COVID, comfort has become really important, and your personality coming through, even in a corporate environment, your personality coming through, and your choice has become much more important. See, I see a lot more color in the business world now than before. Having said that, I do want to highlight one thing over here, and I think because Ingrid touched upon, you know, kind of corporate guidelines and things about maintaining that. For example, we as entrepreneurs, sometimes, you know, if we're looking to investors for money and things like that, or we're in a room full of men, for example, many times what we female tend to do is try and be them, or try and look like them, try and be more, you know, like a blazer suit and kind of blend with them. And I've actually seen many people I have met over my professional, you know, career. People actually appreciate the authenticity of how you show up. And me being a female, I don't want to hide behind the male suits, or I don't want to hide behind, I don't want to look like one of you. I have my personality. I am a female, and I love my body for what it is, and I appreciate it. So I dress up as a female. I talk as a female. I don't want to hide behind just because the whole room is full of men. I don't want to hide behind that. So I strongly believe in that. And of course, it comes over time. And again, it comes with some of the pieces. So like, again, a small story I'll share. My mom, she has this really pretty handkerchief, and you know, it has an engraving of her name. And sometimes in my initial days, she used to give it to me, and she used to say, you know, keep that with yourself, and it will make you feel a bit more feminine, because you know, it has this lacy things and whatever. So again, it's stories that you connect with that can help you. But let's not go into a room full of men and try and be one of them.
Oh, your point about people being a bit more casual, perhaps touch on the Louise mentioned about the question about jeans. I mean, I think particularly with entrepreneurs and startups, you can be very casual in a sense there. But Louise's questions. So
I mean, again, like I see day in day out Gen Z, for example, the younger crowd, when they have joined the offices, they are no longer wearing very formal clothes. They are wearing jeans. And if you have the right, again, it's the color, the fit, and the shape. If that works for you, it can actually look well put together. So, you know, even those things in business events is absolutely fine. Of course, if it says no jeans, or, you know, nothing like that, then obviously you don't. But I have seen the way things have moved from 10 years back, when everybody had to wear in a certain way, have to look in a certain way. Nowadays, things have changed quite a bit. And again, we are entrepreneurs. We've started this from our passion. So if something is telling you, if it's bringing your passion in it, if it's telling your story, go for it. I wouldn't hide.
Yeah, I'd love it if people can put any comments in the chat about any takeaways that you're getting from this talk today. And Sal was coming in, personality showing through modifications can be taken into consideration. Yeah.
Of course, yes. and
You should
again,
wear red, Salwa. You must wear red sometimes. But yeah,
sometimes we don't think about the color that it doesn't. We think that it's not suiting us, and we don't have to go all out. Like, if red, for example, I'm just going to say, if red doesn't suit me, I'm not going to wear a full top red, but I might wear a small, a earring, a red earring, maybe a small necklace, maybe a scarf, something which, if that color is again suiting me, or it's something that's bringing something out for me.
Great, good. Carolyn, do ask a question.
Yeah, I'm just I don't know if it's so much a question, but I'm like struggling because I move a lot. I'm like nomadic, so I move a lot, and I find that in every country it's different, like what is appropriate and what is not appropriate, So that's the first thing. So you constantly have to change your wardrobe when you're moving.
Yes.
Now I'm in Zanzibar in Africa, so it's very colorful here. Colorful is no problem at all here, but it's a Muslim place, so you can only wear like very modest clothing, and it's hot, and I ride a motorbike. So you have all these challenges, because the clothes also have to be practical at the same time as, they need to look nice. They also have to somehow work for, the lifestyle and the environment that you're in. So I find it quite challenging sometimes to put an outfit together that ticks all of these boxes,
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, Carolyn. Every country, every environment is different. So again, when I talked about understanding your audience, understanding that environment. So if that's what people are wearing and that's what is going to give that comfort, then yes, you would need to do that, some of that. But again, think about an accessory. Maybe that doesn't need to be dependent on the country or this thing. If you are, like my example of that brooch, for example, or if you have something which you really, it maybe in some holiday you've got this really beautiful thing, and it shows how it gives you that confidence, and it shows your authenticity, it shows yourself, projects that, then wear that. It could be a scarf, it could be shoes. I mean, it could be, there are ways to explore, but like you said, of course, every country and has been different. Recently I visited Singapore and met my sister, and everybody over there is so much more formal than UK. So, everybody is like, and in very subtle colors, very beige colors. So everywhere I was going, I was like, okay, this is very different from, and I was one of the bright ones, wearing sort of this thing. So I had to then find the right cut and the right shape for me, which worked in those colors, but it still worked for me. And I still had like I also love wearing glasses. I love wearing hairbands. So I had this really bright hairband along with what I was wearing. So of course, think about some of those tweaks that you can make.
Great, thanks for that. I'm going to sort of draw the session to a close and just touch on a couple of things for next week and moving forward. But I really want to thank you, Pinky. It's been a real pleasure to have you here. I knew when we first met, it was going to be really work to have you speak to our group of female founders. And so thanks very much. And Pinky's slide presentation, we will upload onto the online community so that you can go back and access that. And what we will do, we will share the link to the online community to everybody who is on this call. I can double check to see who's already participants on the community or not yet. And as I say, you will get, if you've not received an invite, the invite will come from UpCoach. The email will come from a UpCoach email address, but it'll be an invitation from me to join. So we'll make sure we get that. Next week, we're continuing this theme for these 2 weeks in terms of your brand and your image. And we have Emma Healy next week as a guest speaker from a PR company called Thinking Hats. And the topic will be the importance of your personal brand. So we'll be posting on social media a bit more about that. What I want to say to everyone is, as with Pinky's offered to have half an hour with you, I also would love to talk to you about your business, to see where you are on your journey from founder to leader. And if you want and you haven't had a one-to-one with me yet, I will sort of work with you to give you a quick sort of snapshot of where you are on your founder to leader journey with your business. And maybe we can identify together some of the priorities for the next 6 months that you need to work on. So that's really open to you there. And you can see the link is in the chat as well. So I will be also continuing to travel. So next week, I'm going to be still in Italy, but a different part of Italy next week. And Emma will be our guest speaker. Myself and Nikutu will be on the call. So we're here to help and support you. Any questions, anything at all during the week, please feel free to email me, WhatsApp me, message me, or Ikutu. And we hope to see you all again next week. So thanks once again, Pinky, and everybody have a good rest of the day. Bye for now.
Thank you, everyone. Lovely to see you all. Bye.
Okay.